It's a time for... You know what it is? Leave it in the comments. Welcome to the Wicked Gamer and Collector. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video we are going to talk about one of my favorite brands. Yes, they have released a portable system, but this is not our typical cheap portable system. This thing is quite expensive if you compare with all the other cheap, let's say, portable systems out there. But this is, first of all, let's turn it around. It's from the brand Powkiddy. And it's the model X15. So it's a little bit confusing because if you look at my videos, you will see that I already did a review about the X18. And this is such a weird thing going around there in China, or they just releasing these things randomly, or I don't know what's going on, but the numbering is totally messed up. But I want to show you here on the channel what are we going to get out of the box. There are some fellow YouTubers, for example Taki Udon makes a lot of great reviews about these products, but what he does, he makes them, let's say, the review with a clean ROM, for example. And yeah, there's also possible that you reinstall the software. So I just wanted to point it out, and a little shout out to him, to his channel, because he makes a lot of good reviews. But nevertheless, what are we going to get? 5-inch, very nice. It comes with a 3000 milliamp battery, multi-language switching and built-in game simulator. But I can already tell you, if you have it just straight out of the box, there are some options to download, let's say, emulators, but you need to do a little bit of creative thinking, because so far I understand there is no Play Store support. So the model, it's something totally different. It's the Landscape edition. I really love the Landscape versions. It comes with an USB micro USB cable. Here at the bottom we're finding a manual and a little card, more like a quality control card. Unfoldable, it's a deluxe manual, no toilet paper today. Wi-Fi display function, so basic explanation how you need to connect it to your Wi-Fi for the people who have no clue how to do that. But again, what I already mentioned, it's not like a system that you grab out of the box, and yeah, there are some games pre-installed that we're going to take a closer look at, but still there are a lot of things you need to install, for example the emulators most of the time. Alright, so let's take a close look at the device and let's see what we're going to get. Alright, so let's take a close look at the device itself. Let's remove the plastic, the protection. Alright, so what are we going to get? So first of all, I love the shell, and the reason why is it's very ergonomic, as you can see over here. When you're holding it in your hands, it feels very comfortable. So but there are some little things that I basically messed up, and the first thing, I know you're going to leave a comment because I think you will agree, the D-pad. It's not all bad, and the reason I'm saying this is because of the form factor of the buttons. If you want a movement for, let's say, Street Fighter, it's not like a D-pad of course, but it's not that bad. I have felt worse. The button got a basic click, what you can find on a device from this price range. We have a start select. This is the G button. This is for if you want to play, let's say, mobile games. You can map the touchscreen with the buttons. Very cool. On and off. Volume control. The joystick itself, it feels quite nice, to be honest. It's like, let's say, an analog stick you will find on a more expensive analog stick. So this is something that is very nice. What it have here at the back, we're finding the Powkiddy logo. But at the top here is something that is very strange. And this is something, yeah, and unique at the same time. So if you look at the L1 and R1, just the basic push buttons that you can find on many of these G systems. But the R2 and L2 are clickish buttons. So I don't like this. I don't know what you think of this, but I don't like when they're mixing things up. Give it all click or giving them push buttons or membrane. We're having two USB, and this is very convenient. So basically what you can do in combination with the HDMI, you can hook it up to your television and use this thing like a game system. So that is pretty cool. Micro USB for charging. We're having a way to expand your memory with an CF card or SD. I'm guessing what you can see here, there's a very tiny charger, but you don't need it so far I know. So yeah, that's what you're going to get. We're having two speakers here at the back and a touchscreen, 5-inch. So let's power it on. And let's see what we're going to get. You need to hold it for quite some time. You can barely see it, but we're having here the Powkiddy decal. Alright, so the booting up sequence takes some time. So that is something you need to wait for, but it is not something that takes forever, for example with some of these Raspberry Pi models. So yeah, what I think is really cool, even with the firmware that comes with it, that we're having the options to do whatever you want. Alright, so let's do a little bit of an overview. As you can see, we're having the basic layout, like with the GPD, for example. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It comes with some games. We're having the Happy Chicken, don't like the program, I hate it. File Manager, and this is a program that I'm very happy they added, because if you touch it, you can go through your SD card and install APK files if you need it. There's also a vibration function in the device. I don't know if you can hear it. No, I think you cannot hear it on the camera, but this is very nice. Alright, so all the things what you can do with a tablet. You can also watch music and videos or whatever. Alright, let's go to the settings. I'm going to take a closer look at the specifications, and all the functionalities are here. Alright, so let's check out what are the performance of the device and what are we going to get with the internal specifications. And yeah, let's play some games. Alright, first, system. And let's see what kind of hardware. It's running on the MT8163. And let's see, total memory is at 2 GB of memory, so that is quite, I would say quite nice. Yeah, it's good. Of course, a lot of TV boxes have 4 gigs, but 2 gigs is more than enough if you want to play some retro games. Alright, internal space is pretty big. Internal storage space is around 24 GB, so that is very nice. Alright, this thing is running on a MediaTek MT8163. It is a quad core that is running on 3000 MHz. It's not the fastest, it's quite old, but it's not very bad. Here's some information of the screen resolution. It's running on 1280 by 720. And as you can see, some more information of the GPU. It's a Mali T720. So the GPU itself is not bad at all. Only the refresh rate of the screen is 62 Hz. That's a little bit strange, to be honest. So the device itself is running on the Android version 7.0. So that is not the newest version, but it's also not the oldest version. Because that is the most common problem with these Android devices. They're always running on the version 4.4 or something like that. Alright, so what you can see over here is you're always having this little bar. You can remove it if you want to. So if you want to play a game, you can remove it. But that's the home button to go back. And what I also want to show you, let's go to games. And when you're pressing the G, as you can see, you can map it. So if you want to play, let's say, Call of Duty Mobile or something else, you can map it and do a little bit of cheating. Alright, so the first game we are going to play is Tekken. Oh, on the PlayStation. FPS counter in the left corner. And the first thing that I'm noticing, this thing is quite loud for a cheap portable device. There goes my perfect. You little bitch. So as you can see, PlayStation runs just great on this device. Still not perfect, but you're getting the point. Alright, let's do a little bit of a demo with N64. N64 is still a very hard thing to emulate. Most of the time it goes just fine on Android devices. Yeah, it's game over. So as you can see, it's glitching out big time. And as you can see, it runs fine, but it's still a little bit glitched out. Here at the back you can see that it's glitched out. So if it comes to N64, some games will run fine. maybe when you're messing around with different emulators you can just fix this problem. But in general, it's powerful enough to run it. Right, let's try a little bit of Super NES. Alright. But you can see that the viewing is pretty decent. And if it comes to N64, this is still a more demanding emulator to run on a device like this, so Game Boy Advance will not be in really big of a problem. I must say the analog stick feels quite nice if you just want to play an adventure game like this. It doesn't run bad at all. Silence. Yeah. Loading screens. Alright, let's try Soul Calibur. 3-dimensional game. I was very curious how this is going to play. And surprisingly, this thing runs very nice. Alright, so if I look at the settings, I did some adjustments. For example, the resolution has been scaled down to 1:1 and all little things. For example, the buffer has been changed to non-buffered faster. Otherwise, the game will be basically unplayable. Alright, so let's see how it runs now with some settings turned off. Time to fight.
Round one. Fight.
It's running on 27 FPS. What is also a very nice feature, it's not with the lighters in my screen of course, but that you can use this thing like a plug and play device, or better said, we can use it like a console. Alright, so the reason I wanted to show you this, when you're going to an HDMI, as you can see this game runs, let's say not perfect, but it runs very well. But when you're connecting to the HDMI or using double screen, this is way too much to handle. And even this part is pretty messed up. So if you want to play Dreamcast on a television with this Powkiddy X15, you can forget about it. Right, let's try the PlayStation game again, and this time on the television. Still running the same frames. So if you want to emulate PlayStation games and play them on your television with the X15, it will not be a problem. Right, another round. Playbook time, bitches. Alright, this is what we're going to get with the X15 Powkiddy. It's not a powerhouse, it's a quite powerful device, but it's running on some, let's say, older hardware. The screen itself, 5-inch, is not bad at all. And the capabilities of the device are very good. You can run Dreamcast. PSP is always a little bit of an issue with this, let's say, lower priced Android devices. But in general, I really like it. Even out of the box, it's not bad at all. HDMI capabilities, and we having a very nice analog stick. The D-pad, it's a shame they're still using the 4 buttons, but they feel quite nice. I really love to know from you what do you think of this. I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell, and see you in the next video.